Hello, you're watching World Talks on TVP World. My name is Sasha Farbach. A massive cyber attack earlier this week has exposed the personal data of 1.2 million people in Latvia, while neighboring Estonia is investigating possible Russian involvement in an arson attack on a defense contractor. Now, against that backdrop, Nordic leaders are gathering in Copenhagen Thursday, and Lithuania's new prime minister has chosen Latvia for his first foreign trip, putting very much a regional security and resilience in focus. Joining us now to discuss it all is Aleksandra Kuczyńska-Zonik, senior analyst at the Institute of Central Europe. Good to have you with us. Welcome. So let's begin with this cyber attack. I mean, one of the criticisms was it took some time to notice. I mean, 1.2 million Latvians have their data compromised, a country of only about 1.8 million. So this is very big in terms of scale. What do we make of this, and what does this tell us in terms of the valuable data that could be potentially misused here?
It is a significant situation and relevant situation both for security service and residents of Latvia, because, as you said, the size, the number of those who were affected during this attack is very significant, because we are talking about majority of residents of this country. The company, the service, public service, responsible for registering information concerning cars were attacked by hackers. We do not know who are them, but what we know currently is that they were professionals, because methods they used confirmed that it wasn't a random attack. The consequences were that the part of border of Latvian road traffic safety safety directorate stepped down. So it was the first consequences of the process. But we have to remember that the mistrust toward government, toward public service may increase after this attack, because the data concerning personal names, data of registering cars, data of companies, payment and others leaked, and they may be used by other attackers to make other frauds. So we have to bear in mind that those information are still vulnerable, and other fraudsters may use them.
Mm-hmm. And it's also, I mean, at this point, we don't know that there's been a Russian connection. I mean, even the president of Latvia, Mr. Rinkevic, has said that this is very much, quoting here, a significant threat to national security. Now, we'll find out, if we ever do find out, who is behind it. But nevertheless, if we take this particular example, the kind of scale of it is quite interesting, and who potentially could benefit. I mean, before attributing it, but who could benefit out of having all this kind of data? Could that be used in espionage or in disinformation campaigns potentially?
I mean, all those probabilities are bearing in mind. So I think that the companies, the security service who still investigating the issue may take in consideration all those answers. Latvia is a country in the vicinity of Belarus. And it is still very vulnerable to several attacks, cyber attacks by Russia. So we have to take into consideration that the companies, the hackers, may be influenced by Russia authorities, and it may be an example of Russia hybrid attack, or other hacktivists who want to possess information and data to other private aims. And what is also quite relevant for me is that Latvia is a small country, but it is in top ranks concerning cybersecurity. So this example also shows that all countries are vulnerable to such attacks, even though they are very they pay much attention to cybersecurity.
This reminds me of another case some years back, already some years ago, when a major attack happened also in Estonia, which then made the whole Estonian state turn extremely digital very quickly. So maybe this will follow now out of that. We'll have to wait. Let's also go to a neighboring country, also in the Baltics. Go to actually Estonia itself for a moment. There was an alleged arson attack at Milrem Robotics. Now, this is a defense contractor that does make unmanned vehicles, military vehicles, that are being currently used in Ukraine. Now, there, the Prime Minister has said of that country that there likely is, or they're looking at a Russian influence in the background of this. So how significant is that incident? Do you see at all a pattern here, or is it too early to tell?
Russia uses different instruments to influence the Baltic states. And this example of Arson also exemplifies that not only, we are talking about military infrastructure, the company which is responsible for creating IT systems, automatic system, and robotics, so which are used for military purposes to increase security in Estonia, but also they are used during the war in Ukraine against Russia. It is infrastructure and factories which is directly involved in increasing security for Estonia, but also it is the system, the whole system of infrastructure which is very vulnerable. And this example shows that. This infrastructure is also vulnerable to such attacks, which Estonia, as once more, is a small country, but in border region, so Russia can use all instruments and measures to decrease security in the country.
Yeah. And also, another thing that happened fairly recently, I think it was on August 13th, was an explosion at an ammo factory. This was in Italy now. Now, there, apparently, right now, investigators are saying there is no link yet, or there doesn't appear to be a link to Russia, but the opposition is saying we should look into it more. But given the circumstances and the times we're in, these kind of attacks, how should the public perceive this? Is there that threat of a link? How do policymakers address all these increasing hybrid attacks that are happening?
Currently, there aren't many information about the companies or those who are responsible for the attacks. So it is not direct link between the attacks and Russia. But as I said, we cannot exclude such links, and the government is aware that it is not the first one and probably not the last one, and especially military infrastructure and factories responsible for cooperating with military defense sector in Estonia. They are vulnerable to such attack, and the government also communicating such issues to public, and I think that it is very, very important to also to explain that the country has to increase security, because those examples shows that the war is not far from from away.
And just really briefly, we have the Prime Minister of Lithuania, Mr. Sinkevičius. He's taking his first trip today on Thursday, visiting neighboring Latvia. He's in Riga, meeting his counterpart there. Just give us a bit your take of that trip, the significance, the kind of cooperation potential that can come out of it. The Nordic Alliance is also meeting over today and tomorrow. So what can we expect from those kind of meetings in those formats?
Usually the first meeting of how diplomats are very important, influencing or indicating the relationship between the countries. So this visit also confirms that neighboring countries, Latvia and Lithuania, have got very strong relations. They several times they explained and confirmed that they cooperate in security and defense sectors. They also have got similar challenges concerning the borders. So I suppose that this visit is not very relevant in sense of indicating new topics, but confirm that the relationship and the need of cooperation is very, very strong, and it is very security oriented.
Right, so security oriented and cooperation, that's how we deter all those nefarious forces behind all of these attacks. So we'll, of course, analyze it more in future. We'll close it there today. Thank you so much. That was our guest here, Aleksandra Kuczyńska-Zonik from the Institute of Central Europe. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching World Talks, but do stay right here on TVP World for more news and commentary throughout the day. Goodbye.